I made this documentary, Sink or Swim, about the 2004 U.S. Olympic synchronized swimming team, and it basically follows their journey through trials, training, and to the Olympics. I am not a swimmer. I'm going to confess that right now. I played land sports growing up, but I hope you'll still let me stay. I saw synchronized swimming on TV in 2000 during the Sydney Games, and I was like, how are they doing that? How is that possible? What's going on? And I was totally mesmerized, and I couldn't tear my eyes away, and I just didn't really understand what was going on. And I thought that would make a great documentary one day. And eventually I saw that the next Olympic trials were coming up, and I was like, oh, that would be a good story for a movie about synchronized swimming. And I was like, you know, let me just write to USA Synchro and see what they say. They're going to say no, because they don't know me, I don't know them. Why would they let me make this movie? Let me get it over with and move on with my life. So I sent them a nice letter, and they said, sure, that's a great idea. And I said, oh, okay, I guess I'm making this movie. And then we were off. So that's how it started. I teach documentary filmmaking at NYU, and I warn my students sometimes that you be careful what you pitch for, because sometimes people will just turn around and say, yes, you should make that movie. So you better really want to make that movie if you ask someone to make a movie, because in my experience, people are like, yeah, okay, let's make that movie. But I'm so happy I did. I'm happy to answer any questions afterwards. It's been a pleasure for me to be a part of a surrogate family member of the synchronized swimming community. I still have not yet tried synchro, and I'm not sure I'd be so good at it. Jean's willing to teach me. Okay, I've had an offer to take me during lunch to give me a synchro lesson. And if ever there was somebody to do it, I think Doppy could teach me synchro. So thanks to everyone for being here. Thanks to the International Swimming Hall of Fame. Some of the archival materials you see in here is from their library, and it was great to work with them. And I'm really happy to be here to show the film. So I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Running. I know we're sort of running short on time, but I'll leave these going because I feel they're very important, and I never like to stop the movie without them, because these are all the people that helped get the movie made. But I will take questions if you have any. Yes?
When did you start, I missed maybe in the beginning, when did you start doing this? I mean, for this film.
I pitched the idea to USA Synchro in November of 2002. We started shooting January of 2003 and followed them all the way to Athens in 2004. And did a little bit of shooting after that, but then the editing took the most of the time. Yes?
Cheryl, it's a great film. Why is there no a synchro team this year for the Olympics? U.S.?
So the question was, why is there no synchro team this year for the U.S.? The team ended up not qualifying. So
why?
They didn't get the scores they needed to qualify. There are only a certain number of teams. I'm sure someone else can answer this question probably a little better than I can. But they didn't get the scores they needed to qualify. The duet did, the team didn't. So unfortunately, there'll be no U.S. team. Jean?
Part of the reason, each continent is allowed a team. North and South America is regarded as one continent. The host country is allowed a team, and that leaves 2 or 3 spots left. 2 spots left, and at the qualifying competition last month, we did not qualify.
So unlike other sports, it's only by continent, it's not by country?
Yeah,
By
it's the way they qualify for the teams is every continent gets a team. And so at their continental championships, they go in. And then the other ones go to the qualifying meet. And for example, Great Britain, being the host country, is automatically seeded as a team. So they took up Europe's spot. So Russia had to qualify. Even though they're the best in the world, they had to qualify. So Russia had to qualify, and Spain qualified, and it left one other spot from the qualifying meet. And the Japanese actually got the spot. So they had to qualify because China was ahead
Greece
there.
and Ukraine is only 2/10 difference in the qualification meet in London last month.
Thanks.
Very, very close.
What challenges did filming in and around water present, especially with your cameras, which I'm sure that you had a few challenges?
Yes, so Suzanne's question, nice to meet you. Suzanne's question is about what challenges did shooting in and around water present, and this is one of my favorite anecdotes about shooting the movie. I was always really nervous, right, that we would drop all our cameras in the pool and our microphones, and so the only time we ever had a problem was we were shooting an event and practice, and assistant coach Linda Witter came up and said, "Cheryl, come here. What's going on? My microphone stopped working." Okay. So my sound guy tried to change batteries. It wasn't working. Later, she confesses to me, "I have to tell you something. I was using the restroom. The receiver or the transmitter dropped in the toilet." And so the transmitter from her wireless mic dropped in the toilet. So the only water-related casualty we had from making the movie was Linda's transmitter falling in the toilet. So shockingly, 0 of our equipment ended up in the pool, but that's okay. It's fine. It's a better story. Yes?
Can I take this film because I was active judge there in Athens. It's very interesting, but I feel to say I can buy this film.
Yes, so the film is for sale. I have some copies with me here that I can sell. The film's available on Amazon. You can rent it on iTunes. And I'd also very much encourage you, if you think this is a good fit for your universities or public libraries, high schools, things like that, to go to synchromovie.com, to our website, and purchase it there. We're still, the film's been out for a while, but I was explaining to Judy earlier, somebody once asked me what one of the biggest challenges was making a film. In addition to funding, which is always a challenge making a film, I think some folks don't think they want to see this movie because they think they don't care about synchronous swimming until they watch the movie, and then they realize they really do care about synchronous swimming. They're very impressed, and they learn a lot, and they really didn't understand what it was before. So I think that's one of the challenges for me, is getting the film out into the world in a wider way to audiences who really, really enjoy the film when they watch it. I usually take a poll in general audiences, and I say, okay, who before they saw the movie was a fan of synchronous swimming, and 1 or 2 hands go up, and by the end, so I'm an accidental synchronous swimming evangelist.
Cheryl,
Oh, yeah.
can you list your awards for the film? Because I don't think everybody in here knows how many actual film awards this film has received.
Okay, so Barb has asked to list the awards the film has received.
I want people to understand.
Okay, yeah, it's played at a bunch of very prestigious festivals across the country. Most recently, we won an award here for Best Director yesterday, I guess it was. It won a Billy Award from the Women's Sports Foundation for Excellence in Journalism in Women's Sports, which I'm very proud of. It won an award at the Kansas City Film Festival, the New York International Film Festival, and Columbus, I believe. So it's folks seem to really respond well, which is excited and get excited about Synchro. Any other questions? Yes?
I just wonder how interfered you were, if at all, with the news media that was invading every day with your work.
Yeah, the question was about the news media and whether or not we sort of, stepped on each other's toes. I'm based in New York and the team's based in California, so I kept flying back and forth to shoot the movie. And so every once in a while we'd be there at the same time as the news media, but often when we were there, they weren't there. So So it worked out, and for us, it's the story is us documenting the team's experience. So it didn't. I was actually happy to see the media. I mean, happy in the sort of storytelling sense, because then we got to document what was happening in that realm. So I didn't ever feel like we were competing for their time. Does that answer your question?
Yes, but
Yeah.
maybe at the same time with your cameras there every day or most days, the added cameras and news people, maybe you being acclimated the girls to cameras.
I didn't hear the last part.
Maybe you being there daily, almost daily,
Right.
acclimated the girls to be used to being in front of a
Yeah,
camera
at the
when the news
beginning,
media came.
they didn't really understand actually why we kept showing up, because they weren't used to people paying attention to synchro. So they're used to these news cameras showing up once in a while, maybe when the Olympics roll around, they're like, oh, you again? What are you doing here? Oh, you're, what? And then they finally sort of realized what we were endeavoring to do, and were, eventually started calling us like our documentary, oh, that's our documentary crew, don't mind them, and hi documentary crew, and things like that. And so they definitely were very used to us. And one of my favorite parts is when Chris turns around and says, well, it's a circus here today, so we've got some visitors. And she was actually referring to our crew that day. Because, she has a job to do, and we never tried to get in the way, but, she's got things to do. And every once in a while, anyone who's there is probably in the way. So I think we have to wrap it up. I'm happy I've got DVDs for sale. I've got a handful of swim caps. Thank you so much. And thanks to the International Community.